Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
And now we have reached the portion of Liberty Nation Radio which we wait the whole show for it, let's be honest. It's called Talkin Liberty. It is self-explanatory, and it's the time when we reintroduce our regular contributor, constitutional lawyer, LibertyNation.com legal affairs editor, and the man we've sort of taken a fancy to calling our guardian of individual liberty, Scott David Cosenza. Hello, Scott.
Well, hello, Tim. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'm going to set you on course by simply stating one word and letting you take it from there. Portland.
That is...
and all it invokes.
And all it invokes. It looks like things are headed towards some calm. If the protesters that have been particularly animated with violence against federal property and authorities will be less so when Oregon state troopers are in control of the situation. The incidence of the federal government arresting people is going to play out in the weeks and months to come. I suspect we'll have some suits against the federal government alleging arrest and detainment without probable cause, but then there will also be many, Tim, criminal trials of people who are charged with federal crimes for the violence and havoc they reaped in the city. So a lot to chew on there.
Well, of course, there would be a lot more criminals on trial if these cities actually cracked down on these people and stopped the 60-day plus
I think you're dead wrong about that, Tim.
Siege of the federal
courthouse. If they cracked
courthouse.
down on it, then day one there would have been a few, and then that would have been the stop to it. The only reason why it went on for 60 days.
60-day siege.
And let's recall that that's where these federal troops have been dispatched, which are the focus of so much hate, but they were only sent there because of the complete and utter lack of state and local police support for a federal courthouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who is supposed to protect federal property? First, it should be the mayor or the governor, but since both of them have refused in the state of Oregon, it's got to be the federal government,
Tim,
or the federal courthouse burns to the ground.
For 2 months, the people of Portland were suffering from the nightly public commission of felonies without recourse from the state and the local government. I can only imagine that's going to reverberate for some time to come in that city and state.
Well, Miami police are setting up mask traps. Another COVID-related story. $100 fines. Not to people not wearing masks, Scott, but to people who are wearing them improperly.
Tim, we talk often about, I just go right back to the Eric Garner story where we've talked about, the reason why that man is dead is because it's illegal to sell a cigarette in the manner in which he was accused of doing so. Whether he did it or not, that was the entree for the police into his life. And anytime the authorities pass a new law with a sanction, it invites police officers or regulatory officers into people's lives and creates the situation where it can spiral out of control. I would hope that would be part of what reforms would be like in a post-Black Lives Matter, post-George Floyd world. But here's what we're seeing. This is not somebody who says, hey, I'm not going to wear a mask. You can, go tell it to the whatever. No, this is a person who is taking a sip of a drink or putting their mask down for a second and or inappropriately wearing it, and the government will use all of its tools to get money and arrests because the people who conduct these arrests or write the fine tickets, they get rewarded for that behavior.
Right,
and
right.
so they're incentivizing. Yes, exactly.
Well, do we have a sense of how many of these $100 fines have been issued? I mean, we're talking about a couple, a dozen, several hundred?
Well, NBC Miami reported that the Miami-Dade police were conducting 500 random compliance checks each day to enforce the county's public health ordinance. So.
Okay, well, they're trying. They're trying
Yeah.
to collect that revenue, Scott. They're doing the best they can using COVID as the pretext in this case. So let's go on to another COVID story. This one from Ohio. This could have a change in public perception, Scott, because hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for COVID-19 has become almost entirely a political football. You'd think that a treatment that could help people not to die or get serious symptoms from COVID would anything that would help them, you'd think that people would encourage that.
Not
but
if
instead,
it makes Donald Trump look good.
Exactly.
Tim.
And
how dare you?
And the minute he started,
they're trying to win an election here, Tim.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to break a few eggs.
Well,
you know.
and of course, the moment he came out and said that it was good, and then said he had taken it, that it couldn't be good, and so it's been viewed and demonized in the press as something that's some kind of a...
Trump seems to be one of the few who was able to escape one of the horrible adverse effects of
That's
hydroxychloroquine that we keep reading about.
He was just lucky, Scott, just lucky. Probably the Russians. They
I
got
think
him into
that
office. But in Ohio...
the State Board of Pharmacy said it would ban doctors from prescribing hydroxychloroquine for COVID-19 until Governor DeWine, I guess, rang them up on the phone and let them know that, they were going to come at him with pitchforks in a second there and quickly reversed course. The sad thing, Tim, is there was no new study that was published that the Board of Pharmacy based their decision on or medical information. As you say, this is a political story, and that is why they did it, and that's why they reversed it. My guess is, Tim, that it was just initiated on a political basis and then quickly reversed on a political basis for the same but mirror reasons.
All right, fair enough. 3 months till the election, Scott. It's all
and
about the election.
it's going to be either much worse or much better.
Correct. Yeah. It's not going to be the same. We know that. Finally, Scott, we're going to finish up in your favorite city in the world, the cradle of liberty, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where 16 cops who were disciplined for racist, offensive Facebook posts are suing, saying they were victims of discrimination.
Well, that's right, Tim. There was this big open record sort of, I think they call it the Plainview Project, where these groups would monitor Facebook posts from people they identified as police officers and compile a kind of record of their posts, and then comb through that for posts that could be deemed discriminatory, racist, or otherwise offensive.
Or conservative.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then target those people for removal. And in the largest mass firing in Philadelphia police history, they fired a whole bunch of them. Now, two groups of those cops have sued, and I think it's a fascinating question of, if you've posted a meme on Facebook, are you endorsing that? Is that your speech? Or are you, for what purpose are you posting it? And also, the way that the security controls on the account are set, were they done intentionally open or perhaps not? All those things. So these officers who were fired, kind of summarily dismissed for some of these posts, right? They without due process to determine even if they themselves made the posts, meaning it could have been people share accounts with their spouses in some instances and that sort of thing. So I think it's going to be interesting. And really, it's one of these things where by failure to kind of move deliberately and react to a kind of lash out, I think that sadly, the people of Philadelphia are going to have to take it on the chin again, because what's going to happen is a lot of these cops are going to be reinstated with back pay. They're going to have to pay for attorney's fees, and some of them probably who were actually racist, and they won't have been able to be fired legitimately, right? And so, and then of course the ones who were fired and are not racist and shouldn't have been fired, they're kind of in a bad position as well going forward. So. Not a great situation there.
Complicated times, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.